Hello, and welcome back to what is clearly not the Long Island Railroad Montauk branch. You remember all that narrow gauge stuff I was going to install and then had a catastrophe when I did? Well, here it is. I've made my little diorama / mini layout. That's what I'm doing for the last 3 months. And now you get to see it. So enjoy. No, okay, we'll be going over it a little more in depth. So what I've done is created a small narrow gauge mining layout. It's HON 30, I believe, if you remember. It's it's HO gauge, HO scale running on N gauge track. Okay, it's basically an Inglenook Sidings layout, track plan. So what happens is the mine is through the hole in the back there. You can see it. And the train comes down from the mine with its load of copper ore. I'm modeling copper ore just because it goes along with my layout where I have the Phelps Dodge copper refinery. Comes down to the tail track here, goes forward onto this track, dumps its copper ore into the hopper car there, the HO scale and HO gauge hopper car, and goes back and goes get more. And I also have here, hang on, it's a small mining camp. I guess you could call it a camp. I've got a little goods shed with a loading platform, a little flat car and a little tank car. And over here is the bunkhouse, which is modeled after a picture of a bunkhouse I found on the internet. And now the fun part is behind the scenes there is a small turntable, but not for turning engines, for turning entire trains. It's actually a fiddle yard, to use the British expression. So you can see I have one, that was interesting, one ore train lined up ready to go. So basically the engine will take those 3 cars, bring them down, park them on the left track, and then I just move the turntable like this, just moves my hand, pick up the new train, take it back out, and puts it on the dump track and dumps the ore into the car there. So it's entirely DC powered, because why bother with something else? And what I did was I took the old DC power pack that I had, took it apart, basically ripped it out of its case, and rewired it directly into the fascia here. So I have a commercially bought on-off switch right here, and the direction switch, and the power, what's it called? Throttle, that's it, yeah. So, okay, it works, it's plugged in. Just turn it, and there it goes. Okay, the slow speed performance may not be that great, but it's okay. So just about everything you see is scratch built. The shell for the engine is 3D printed. I got it off of Shapeways. The HO scale car is obviously real, or well, I got it at a train show. It is in fact a terrible car. It rolls like molasses, or like, I don't know, like walking through molasses. However you want to phrase it. But luckily in this usage it doesn't have to move. So I completely painted out all the markings on it, just because it's not the star of the show. It's just there to make sure everyone understands, looking at the layout, what's going on, and that the ore comes out of the little cars and dumps into the big car, and that's all you need to know about it. The trestles scratch built, that was a pain. Yeah. The little tank, the white tank is a kit. The tank car I made, except for the trucks, I completely made it as I did the flat car. The tank itself is a bit of PVC piping. The loading dock is from a kit leftover that I didn't use. I just cut a piece off and put it there. The goods shed is scratch built, as is the bunkhouse. The goods shed is all styrene. The bunkhouse is all paper and paper products. Well, there's some balsa wood in there too, but all the boards that you see are pieces of, I think, cereal box cardboard that I just cut up and cut them into 10-foot scale, 10-foot lengths, and made a house out of them. Okay, the windows are also not, I didn't make the windows. The windows themselves, they're from a kit, I don't know, from my parts box. But the frames and the door and the roof is index cards that I cut up. The trees, this is the hero tree that's, what do they call them, super trees? That I cut up, pruned into the proper shape, and then did the usual thing. Now, if you've ever used super trees, you know they're really good at making one side of a tree for some reason. So what you do is you actually take two of them and strap them together and then turn them into one tree. All three of these trees here are actually two bits of super trees tied together. The landscaping is all foam, styrofoam. That's basically prepared using techniques by Thunder Mesa Railroad guy. I forgot his name. And it was a bit of a trial and error, but I think it ultimately came out really nice. I like it a lot. And then the turntable, it was kind of an experiment. I read about them and I said, oh, that's kind of a neat idea. Let's see what I can do in that manner. The top part is basically this part. It's a clock face that I got at Hobby Lobby. And then it's sitting on like a plate underneath that's exactly the same diameter, which is convenient. And I just drilled a hole through it, and a lot of very careful measuring and determining exactly where to put it to get it to line up. And then bent the track on, made sure it lined up with that track, and there you go. I know that doesn't tell you a whole lot, but I'm going to be showing some of my pictures after this, and maybe you'll learn a little bit more from the pictures. Or you can always ask me. And here's the backside. When I envisioned this layout, I wanted a beautifully curved scenic backdrop that would flow nicely from one end to the other. That failed miserably. It turns out that some of this fiberboard, this stuff, you can, if you use Windex with ammonia D, it curves nicely. You soak it down and you can bend it and curve it. Saw that on Larry Puckett a while ago. Well, okay, that works with the type of MDF that is smooth on the front side, but unfinished or rough, kind of nubby on the back side. Now this is finished smooth on both sides. So guess what? Windex with ammonia D does not work. So I tried it, and immediately, as soon as I started bending it, it snapped right in half. So I was perturbed because I wasn't going to go buy another sheet of this stuff. But I cut it up and bent it some places and did a lot of gluing and did a lot of these little strappy things to reinforce the corners. Screwed it in the bottom with some screws, and it ultimately came out okay. I think if you look from the front, it's fine. Now in these areas right here, the gaps, I filled that with wood filler, because wood filler tends not to crack as much, tends not to crack at all, actually, if you do it right, than say mud or spackle. Now all the little detail parts, those I got off the internet. I can't remember. I think it's Details West, maybe, or somebody else. Somebody sells them. They're meant for logging camps, but they do well enough for mining camps as well. Actually, I think this set was for mining camps. And also in the back here, you can see that I've got, let me get the light in there. Come on, light, do your thing. I put in some old wrecked mine carts. I thought they were scenic. And there's a lot of little scenic stuff here and there. Down here, little guy loading the box. And now on the surface, the ground surface, I thought about putting dirt down or something, or some kind of ground cover. But ultimately, I decided that just the painted surface. Oh, also, I finished it after the styrofoam. I finished it with that stuff that everybody uses that I can't remember the name of. Let me think about it. Sculptamold, that's the stuff. So after slathering the Sculptamold on, all the rocks, like these rocks down here and up here, that's kitty litter of a certain kind. I mean, not just any kitty litter, but ultimately that's what it says on the side of the box is kitty litter. It is perfect for this kind of application. So anyway, where was I? What was I trying to get at? Okay, the point I was trying to make was that once I smoothed out and sanded down the Sculptamold, I thought, and painted it, I said, that looks really good. I'm really not sure I can improve on that. So I didn't try. I just put down a little bit of ground cover there in the gully there, the wash. That's gonna have some greenery in it, and then stuck in various places here and there, and then, up there. I really like this little tree up here on top for some reason. I don't know, I just do. And this little fence serves a dual purpose. It keeps people from falling off the cliff, and it also hides the fact that there's a little knife mark that I accidentally made along the line of the fence posts and failed to hide before I did all the Sculptamold and painting. And did I want to go back and redo it and try to match the paint? No, I did not. So there you have it. There's a little fence there instead. And of course, my cat Winston chewed on this piece and broke it off and chewed through the wires, but I fixed it. He just has a thing for wire. Let's see, is there anything else to tell you about it? I don't know. Just stand back and admire it. I guess I should tell you that I would probably sell this if someone were interested, just because I have enough to do on my other layouts. And I'm not interested in N-gauge at all, which is basically what you're doing is operating N-gauge trains in HO scale. So if you're interested, send me a note, make a comment, and I'll get in touch. I don't know what the best way to sell a train set is. eBay maybe, or Craigslist or something. I'll have to look into it. But obviously, if anyone watches one of my videos and is interested in buying it, I would, much rather sell it to a fan. Okay, enough of me talking about this layout. Now we're going to do this little op session. Sometimes I get excited and start talking too fast. And that'll be it. Plus, I'll add some pictures at the end of the construction process, which you can completely avoid if you so desire. So I changed my mind and decided to put the op session in a completely separate video. So instead, just enjoy some of these pictures of the construction process. I hope they inform you somewhat. And once again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time on the Long Island Railroad Montauk branch.